What is periodic tenancy? What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to you with another educational video, real estate, and this time we're talking about periodic tenancy and what exactly is it. So there's different types of tenancy, but we're only going to focus on this one. And this one deals with somebody that is no longer has a lease, and normally a lease for a renter tends to be anywhere from 6 months to a year to 2 years. It depends on what the contract is, but normally a lease will be about a year. And a periodic tenancy means that they no longer have a year lease, and they just live month to month. And then what that means is that within the 30 days of them renting, if they decide to quit, they give a notice to quit, and that means that after these 30 days are up, they're going to relocate to somewhere else. They're going to move and live somewhere else. And that is normal. That is totally okay. That's not illegal to do. The only time it's a problem if there happens to be a lease in place, a contract, and they're now trying to do a notice to quit and their lease isn't up yet. So that can be a problem. But periodic tenancies are, I wouldn't say they're not common or they're a lot more frequent. It goes either way. Depending on the area and the money being involved, sometimes you'll have some owners will be like, you know what, no, that's fine. You can do a periodic tenancy. You can just be here every month, you know, until you decide to quit. You just pay month to month. Or some people will be like, no, I want somebody who's going to continue to pay on a regular basis, and I don't have to worry about finding another tenant. So let me just have a year lease and leave it at that. I have dealt with both. I've had a year lease, and then I've also had a month to month. And normally, just so you know, after a year lease, if you don't have your client sign another lease form, then it automatically reverts to a periodic tenancy. So you don't have to do anything. It just means, okay, you didn't have to state it and they didn't have to state it. It's already been, it's already technically, it is what it is that they just keep paying every single month. But now they are not in a contract to where they have to stay on the property for another year due to the lease. They just can be like, okay, we're just going to pay month to month, and if we decide to move, we'll let you know, and that's it. And, you know, it can go either way depending on who is in charge of that. The thing, too, about a year lease is that if a year lease you break the lease, then depending on the severity, you could very well forfeit your deposit and also be held for damages. I have seen a situation where somebody, a former client, decided to break their lease because they wanted to get in their house, and they had some help with it, but they ended up having to pay a little bit of I think they lost their deposit because of it. Because of breaking their lease, among a couple other things. But they felt at that point they had to do what they had to do. Then they needed to get into this house. They didn't want to lose it. So that wasn't my bad. I stayed out of it. And then I've also seen a renter where they had a periodic tenancy, and they only wanted to be on a periodic tenancy because they already knew what they were planning to do. They were planning to move, and they were just doing that until they could find the place to move to, because they were already having problems with the renter, and it was a big mess and totally unwarranted. But that's the nature of dealing with renters and stuff. That's, you know, that's the business you kind of play. When you have a lease, you have a lot more control, I think, and it's more contract involved. So you don't want to deal with ramifications of them trying to walk away, and they can be held liable for some type of thing, compensate, and you can be compensated more so. Whereas a periodic tenancy, they can just, some renters will not even tell you. They'll just clean out their place and leave within the next couple weeks and not even tell you, and then you just stop by and the place is completely vacant. Some people will do that too. Not everybody likes to be straightforward about how they do things. And technically, you as a renter can't hold them hostage because it's periodic tenancy. So if they decide to just move out and not let you know, you can just have a notice to perform. But then at the same time, if the place is vacant, you have the keys. It's like, well, they moved out, and but then also that can also be an issue because now that they moved out, you gotta, if you don't know where they moved to, you gotta send them now a notice to perform to ensure that they no longer are living there and all those kind of things. And if they don't send anything, you gotta do a notice to evict. So leases are done; they're there for a reason a lot of times too. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.